or you guys, or ever how you want me to say that. I haven't built up a fan base yet, so if I even get one. But we're just gonna say I could possibly, okay? But I know I said in one of my videos that I would possibly be posting every Monday and Fridays. Well, life happens, unfortunately, and I haven't been able to upload. But and I wanted to actually do a Halloween look, which kind of sucked because I didn't get to do it. I had a lot going on Halloween day, unfortunate events, but needless to say, I didn't get to that. So a business had to be handled. But my little kitty is here. She wants to say hello. Come here, say hello. Hey, Zoe. Anyway, so I wanted to just make a quick video today, kind of talking about what I want to talk about, videos that I want to make, and then a place that I want to travel to visit, possibly, and check it out. And then I wanted to talk about my favorite podcast. So anyways, so you know, most of my videos on here has been basically all paranormal things, and I guess I sort of want to stick to that content of just paranormal, but you know, not so much investigating. I would like to do that eventually, but as of right now, it's just going to be, you know, we're talking about it, because number one, I don't have the equipment, although myself, just being me is, you know, should be equipment enough, but you know, I don't have like the EMFs and, you know, the spirit boxes and stuff like that. So when I get those, that could be a possibility, but as of right now, it's just going to be, you know, talking. You know, I should, you know, leave that to podcasts, but you know, somebody might be interested in my videos. I don't know. So so what I want to discuss is, I have posted this on Twitter, or tweeted this on Twitter, this book, the Haunted Southland. I got lucky with this book. It was just gave to me, but it was autographed by the author, which I found interesting, Nancy Roberts. She is from Charlotte, South Carolina. Well, she was from Charlotte, and anyway, she wrote this book, I believe, when she was in school. So, So about the author, I'll just read you the thing so you know. So about Nancy Roberts, she's the author of 20 books. She is deeply interested in the folklore of the supernatural and history, and her stories are a combination of the most fascinating aspects of both. A graduate of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Miss Roberts lives in Charlotte. So if that gives you kind of, you know, some background about the author. But basically, like, I have read some of this book, and she tells a lot of stories, you know, like the stories people tell around your hometown, and they kind of pass it around and say, ooh, this happens here and this happens there. And like, we have, I think everyone has this story, but we have a story about a girl on a bridge, and if you pick her up and you take her back home, she disappears. She got killed on prom night or something, in a car accident. So I think everyone has probably that same story, but she has stories about that. She actually has a story about fairies and gnomes. So a fairy, a place where fairies go. So I would like to, you know, kind of go over these stories and see, you know, what you guys think. And if you can get a hold of this book, I would suggest it because it's a very good book. It's a very good book. So yeah, I'll do some stories about, out of here. I'll tell some stories out of here if that's something people like to hear, paranormal stories, There's also a place that I want to go to, and I don't know if anyone has heard of the Charlie Lawson family murders. He's a big name around the southern part, or here in North Carolina. So on Christmas Day, Charlie killed his entire family, except for his oldest son that was not there at the time. He was in town or on a hunting trip. I think it was one or the other. And so he did not get killed, but the rest of the family did. It's a really sad story, but there's a place where the funeral home used to be in this town of Madison, because he lived in Stokes County, if I'm not mistaken, and at that time they would bring them to this little town, and they would prepare the bodies at this place, which now this place is a dry goods place. But it used to be the funeral home, and that is where the family was taken. And so they've dedicated their upstairs to the Charlie Lawson Murders. So they've got like artifacts, different things set up in the second floor of the dry goods place. So I would like to go there and kind of walk around and film and just explain the history, explain what happened. Look at the different things that they have set up in there. I don't know if it's actually their belongings or not, but I believe it is. But I will double check on that when I go and film that. So that might be fun to do. I actually have been to Charlie Lawson's and his family where they're buried, the grave. I think you have to have permission now, because there was a lot of things happening, people was going and doing all like some weird things, so you have to have permission now. But when I went, it was just like you went in, whatever. And when I approached the graves, it was a very, it was a heavy feeling of sadness, which I cannot say that that's just not for me, where I knew the story, and then standing there and seeing their graves, and what he did. That was kind of, that's hard to swallow. A father just all of a sudden one day, especially Christmas Day, killing his whole family. So I did feel that. There's also a rumor that if you cover their entire, because they're buried side by side, so if you cover their whole grave area with leaves, or if the leaves fall, like in the fall, like the leaves will, I think I got this right, the leaves will blow off of the rest of the family, but they won't blow off of his, or they stay on the rest of the family and they blow off of his, and it's always just his spot that's like that. So I'll double check into that and check that out. So it's interesting, and I think I don't know if everybody around the world knows about Charlie Lawson. I'm sure I know about him. So we'll see. I would like to do that and get thoughts on that. So lastly, I don't want to talk too much because I don't want to bore you to death. And there's ladybugs flying around. I have this podcast that I've been listening to for a while, and it's fairly new. It's called A Haunt Mess, and it has Courtney, Sarah, and Dee Dee are the three girls that are talking paranormal. Their podcast is absolutely amazing, because the reason why I say this is they look at all aspects, like every side to the paranormal that you could think of. Like, some things make a lot of sense that they say. Actually, most of everything they say makes so much sense, and it's kind of helped me take some of my experiences and be like, could that have been paranormal, or could that have been something else? So I have actually been looking at my own experiences that I've had that has freaked me out. I'm like, ooh, that's paranormal, and try to look at it in a different way. So check that podcast out. They also have a YouTube channel. You should head over there and subscribe. You can see them like live, doing the podcast live, so it feels like, it's a more intimate, I guess, way to watch, and hear what their conversation will be about. So you should check them out. They're amazing. I promise you, it's not a waste of time. This is my number one favorite podcast. I have a few podcasts that I listen to, but A Haunt Mess is like my number one, and then Cult Leader with Spencer Henry is my second one. Cult Leader is pretty good, but it's not paranormal, it's more of murders, stuff like that, disturbing things that have happened. So that's more, if you're into more of the murder scene, Cult Leader is like the perfect podcast for that. But paranormal wise, A Haunt Mess is everything. It's everything, okay? So I wouldn't just be saying that. So check them out. And also, since we're talking about paranormal experiences and how I've took their podcast and I have examined my own experiences in the past that I've had, look at it differently. So the funniest thing happened last night to me and my husband. So we were fixing to go to bed, and everyone else, our kids, was asleep, and the weirdest thing happened. So we were fixing to lay down because I was wanting to watch The Little Mermaid live. Do not judge me, okay? I grew up loving The Little Mermaid, and I still do, and I wanted to see Queen Latifah. She rocked it. But as we were fixing to lay down, we heard a knock, and the knock sounded like it sounded like it was at the door, but it also sounded like it was like inside of the house. I can't even explain this clearly. Like, clearly something knocked. It was like knocked, like I don't have anything hard, but it was like you could hear it loud, like it wasn't not the TV. So we went to the front door to see what was, if someone was there. Like, we opened it, we checked it out, and then opened it, but no one was there. So we're kind of like sitting here wondering, where did that come from? Like, just a knock? It was just a knock. And it sounded more like wood to me, like a wooden door. But I don't have a wooden door. I have a primed door that I've painted one side, and the inside is still like the primed part. But it was weird. It was very strange. So I just wanted to throw that in there, just to add to my conversation. So let me know in the comments what you think about everything I've just said, from the book to Charlie Lawson the podcast. Let me know if you subscribe and how you enjoy it. You will enjoy it. If you love paranormal, you'll love it. And let me know your thoughts about the knocking. Maybe somebody can say, don't know. Someone just tell me, because right now I'm sitting here thinking there was no one at my door and there was a knock. And so I'm kind of trippy. Trippy. It's very trippy. So anyways, if you are new and you've just found me and you like my personality, like my videos, like it. Like the video, subscribe. I'm gonna upload as much as possible. Where I don't have a fan base yet, I'm kind of not so stressed about making sure I post on certain days. If I do get a big enough like subscribers or whatever, I will dedicate more time to make sure it's on these days. So if you like my video, like and subscribe. It takes 1 second. I was just speaking. You don't have to subscribe. I know I'm kind of a geek, nerd, whatever you want to call me. But yeah, and comment below. Don't forget to comment. I want to know everything you're thinking. I want to know. I want to know if you think I'm weird. I want to know if you think I'm a nerd. I want to know if you think I just wasted 16 or more minutes of your time. Let me know, okay? And I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time.